Hi, everyone. Today we're going to talk about blind spots, specifically the largest companies in the world, Fortune 500 companies, the largest family offices in the world representing multi-billion-dollar families. What we found is that less than 1 out of 5 Fortune 500 company is able to put together a tax planning team that can produce a pristine tax return, meaning minimize all the taxes possible. In fact, zero out the tax return. 1 out of 5 billionaires has access to the top tax attorney specialist resources in the country where they can eliminate their taxes legally and navigate the entire tax code. So what's really the issue here? The issue is 4 out of 5 Fortune 500 companies don't know how to do this. 4 out of 5 family offices representing multi-billionaires don't know how to do this because they're using traditional tax planning systems, traditional tax planning resources. They're just using traditional CPA firms, traditional law firms to try to do sophisticated tax planning. And the only thing that really works for is very basic ideas, not sophisticated tax planning ideas. So there is this blind spot that exists in sophisticated tax planning. We want to talk about why and how we solve this. So the reason this blind spot exists is because no one knows how many pages are in the tax code. It is a constantly changing, moving target. In fact, we just added how many pages in the CARES Act. How often is the CARES Act being changed? It's being modified every week, sometimes multiple times a week, sometimes multiple times a day. And they're probably going to keep changing this CARES Act going into December, going into the December 31st tax deadline. So we're going to have a moving target the rest of the year. Where do we find the best tax attorneys in the world? Where do we find the best resources? Where do we find the best captive people, ESOP people? Where do we find the best charitable strategies? Where are these people? What is Zuckerberg, Bezos? What are the top billionaires doing? What is Amazon and Netflix and Salesforce.com, IBM doing with their tax planning? What are they doing? What are the other 4 out of 5 Fortune 500 companies not doing? The real issue is we can't find the best tax planning attorneys. They are not allowed by law to solicit and market their developed tax planning strategies. So we can't find them. And if we found them, what are we going to do? Introduce and refer our biggest clients to some third-party law firm? No, it doesn't really work. So the traditional model that is being used by 4 out of 5 Fortune 500 companies, 4 out of 5 family offices, and of course, 99% of millionaires out there, they're using traditional CPA firms and law firms. When it comes time to do basic planning, of course, they're going to have all these basic resources. But when it comes time to do sophisticated tax planning, they got nowhere to go. So what we're doing is we're solving this problem the same way that Netflix and Amazon has solved this problem. How have they done it? They're utilizing independent peer review. So they're saying, okay, Netflix, instead of going to Blockbuster and flipping over covers of movies, trying to figure out which movie you and your spouse are going to watch tonight, and asking the person behind the counter, have you seen this movie? You think we're going to like this movie? That's super inefficient, right? What do? We go to Netflix, and based on the movies we already liked and watched on Netflix, and based on this whole inventory of movies that Netflix has put out there and have so many people watch and provide feedback on, they already know what my wife and I wants to watch. They're going to show me all these 96, 97, 98% matching titles of shows and movies based on what I like, based on what this independent peer-reviewed community likes. When I go shopping, I don't go to Toys R Us to buy toys for my kids anymore because it doesn't exist. But if it did exist, I wouldn't go there anyway because I'm going to use my Amazon app. Right? Why don't I want to go to Toys R Us? It's a storefront. They got just stuff that Toys R Us wants to sell me at some high price. I have to get in a car, waste money on gas, drive there, avoid the crowd, try to find this product in that store and pay this ridiculous price for it. Versus Amazon, they're going to show me a full comparison. They're going to show me 5,000 peer reviews, 4.9 stars. I'm going to find the price I like, and in a matter of a minute or two, I'm going to find the product, click, click, click. Why? The confidence comes from the independent peer review. So when we look at this universe of tax planning, when we're using traditional CPA firms or traditional law firms, where is this independent peer review coming? Where are they finding the best resources? How are they vetting these resources? I want to use the same system that Amazon and Netflix have perfected. And that's exactly what the Due Diligence Project does. We have this incredible community, former KPMG, Deloitte, PwC, the tax partners, tax geniuses from all these big fancy firms who've left these firms over the last 20, 30 years, form their smaller or boutique shops. And together we have this independent peer-reviewed community of over 500 family offices, elite CPA firms, who are all led by tax professionals who have at least 10,000 hours in sophisticated tax planning. Why is that important? Because once someone invests 10,000 hours in an area of expertise, they achieve a level of a master level, right? So if someone has invested 10,000 hours in sophisticated tax planning, we want them part of our community. We want them introducing their favorite resource to our community. We want them vetting out the resources that have already been introduced to our community, so we can, as an independent peer-reviewed community, figure out what's good, what's better, what's best. And this is how we find the best strategies. This is how we find and identify the best tax attorneys and best specialists in every area of sophisticated tax planning. And the due diligence process never, ever stops, because as we introduce more CPA firms and family offices, they introduce more resources. We're constantly vetting out those resources, and then we're helping these family offices, helping these elite CPA firms deliver massive value to their clients who are worth millions or hundreds of millions or billionaires. And of course, those clients have third-party law firms, third-party advisor firms that all want to look at the strategies and the resources that we're introducing, which means what? More eyeballs, more independent peer-reviewed due diligence. So the Due Diligence Project continues to refine and refine and refine the quality of our due diligence. So the Due Diligence Project never stops, and we're continuing to find best-in-class resources, best-in-class strategies. And just when we figure we found everything there is, we find 2 or 3 more, we vet them out, and maybe 1 or 2 of them becomes one of our favorite strategies of that time. So anyway, we are really excited about the Due Diligence Project, and we're excited about you guys. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your week, and just hopefully you learned a little bit something about the tremendous blind spots that exist in sophisticated tax planning for 4 out of 5 Fortune 500 companies and 4 out of 5 family offices representing billionaire families. Thanks. Have a great day.